Hello, this is Arturelia Gaming Room Reviews. I'm Arturo, and today I will be reviewing Inuyasha. I would probably consider the first anime to get me into the anime genre, even though I saw like Astro Boy, the 2003 version, or Yu Yu Hakusho back during the Toonami days, and some of One Piece and Big O, but I didn't really consider them anime at the time because I didn't know what anime was. I just thought it was an American cartoon. But then Inuyasha got me into anime, and that's when I started to learn the word anime and where they even made it. And thus, I got addicted to anime, but the first anime would be Inuyasha. I just loved the show from age 11 and onward, liked Sango, blah blah blah. Then there was video games, and then I found out about The Secret of the Cursed Mask, where you played as a rookie that comes into the anime world of Inuyasha, and I thought that was interesting. So after playing it a couple of years back, what do I think of this game? Does it still stand out as one of my favorite anime games? Or do I think it's just okay, mediocre? Do I think it's even better than the Feudal Combat for the PS2? Well, if you're an Inuyasha fan, you may like this review or may not if you don't like Inuyasha. So, today I will be reviewing The Secrets of the Cursed Mask, and I will give my honest opinion on this game. Don't hate me. Let's go.
Me?
Your character, Kururugi, walks into an old storage house and falls through a hole, which brings her to the past of feudal Japan. And later she does meet up with Inuyasha, the main character of the series, and then she will end up meeting the rest of the gang. He or she, and what's cool is that you can pick either a male or a female. I went with a female for a while, and maybe for my second play, I probably will go as the male, because I've never played as him yet. Depending on what gender you pick, which is an interesting part, depending on which gender, there are certain conversations that are changed. It gives you different moments if you're a male or a female, and that's actually pretty cool. Now when it comes to its story, where the show fits in, well, I guess you could say it's set between Season 3 and Season 4 of Inuyasha, but ignores all of Season 4, and basically every season after that is just completely ignored. In this alternate story, all the other seasons don't even happen. And the music, they make it as if you're in the Inuyasha world. From sad moments to funny moments, it really does fit with the Inuyasha universe. And some soundtracks in the game are really catchy. I mean, it just feels like you're in the Inuyasha world. If you've watched all of Inuyasha, then you know what I mean. And if you like Inuyasha, then you would like this game, its story, and also its soundtrack, because there are catchy themes. For its gameplay, it's your typical RPG. It's usually where you're running around, and then you encounter an enemy, that sort of stuff, like Final Fantasy and other RPGs. And in most RPGs, it's random when you encounter a foe when you're just walking around. I will say this game does let you know when there's a demon or an enemy around the area, because when you're walking in the map, there's usually this purple miasma floating in the air. However, the one thing I've kind of noticed is even though there's no purple miasma, you're still going to encounter an enemy. It's like, okay. As for its attacks, well, they're simple. You could do special attacks and then combos, and when you do the combos, you get this nice animation of the characters, even the new character. Now, like other typical RPG games, you could go around, talk to people, you travel, etc., do all this and that. But what I find what's nice about this game is that you can bond with the characters. There will be like these points in the game when you just want to relax, the whole gang wants to relax, and you can bond with either one. Inuyasha, Kagome, Shippo, Moroku, Sango, You could pick who you want to bond with. And depending on who you bond with, you may get a little bit of an alternate thing that happens at the end. And I will say, like, if you focus more on one character, obviously you're going to get a different alternate ending there. Or if you decide to bond with almost every single one character at a time, you'll get a different type of scene which leads up to the ending. But depending on who you really bond with, if you decide to bond with everybody, whichever character you bond with the most, you'll still get that ending at the very, very end. But the scene before the ending, it's a little different. At least my first encounter with seeing that happen. And like I said, if you bond with maybe one character, I think there will be more of a big conversation before the ending scene. So, you know, that's kind of interesting, and also some replay value there. And I will note I haven't seen all of them except maybe on YouTube, but I never, like, seen all the other different interactions at the end. As for its gameplay, it is fun, but it kind of depends on how you feel about it, because there's at least maybe one sort of issue. It's that, I mean, other RPG games, I know they do this thing where you encounter an enemy, but after a while it does kind of drag on with you always encountering a foe after foe. And sometimes the maps where you're traveling in an area is pretty big, and sometimes you get lost a little easily. But every time after a battle, you just encounter more and more and more. You can have the option to run, but you know that doesn't work all the time for, you know, our other RPG games that have done that. It's not, I mean, it's not really a big issue, but I felt like when it came to a big map, the good thing is that you could explore if you want, but you always had this encounter every time, which later kind of got a little repetitive. I mean, I don't know. In a sense, other RPG games do that, but I guess it just has to depend on how you feel about it, really. I mean, for me, at points I would kind of get tired of encountering maybe like the 9th or 8th enemies that I've already beaten, and I want to just move on. But then again, you have to remember you have to level up, and that's another importance. When it comes to its game mechanics, I really had no issue with moving the character or fighting demons. You know, everything was a-okay. And what the menu offers is a revisit of the scenes that you've collected, depending on how many times you played it. That's nice, and also the combo attacks. You could watch those if you want. Also, the art style of the maps are just like Inuyasha. I mean, that's what I like about this game. It really captures it. I mean, like, even though the characters are 3D, everything else is kind of drawn like from the anime. So, you know, that was actually pretty cool. And now, if you have a friend that likes Inuyasha, sadly, there is no multiplayer. Like I mentioned before about the replay value, the nice thing about the replay value, if you want to collect the clips, if you want to see the interaction between every character, even at the end, you'll get different clips or different interactions. And not to mention, you could go back and play it as the girl or the guy. There are also some areas that you can visit. There will be points where there'll be like these question marks, and whatever you pick, that'll be the only time you can pick something. Then you'll get a scene of either Shishomaru or even get a little bit of a story arc with Koga. So that was probably a downside to it, was that you can only pick one area and that's it. If you want to see everything, you would have to save that point where all the question marks are everywhere around the map, and then go to each one and just see the scene it gives you. Thing is, you may lose track. The other point is that if you want to get to the scene, you will have to also encounter more enemies just to do so. Now, for the main characters that you play, are they likable? Well, I only play as the girl character. Some people may find her annoying or likable. I mean, I don't mind her. I still need to play as the boy character though. Well, probably after this, I probably would have played it, but who knows? I may take my time because there are a lot of games I'm reviewing and playing at the same time.
But it makes me feel weird being thanked so much.
Whatever. It's not a bad thing to be appreciated.
Inuyasha: The Secrets of the Cursed Mask was a fun game to just play and just interact with the characters that you know and love from Inuyasha. Playing as new characters and just being a rookie. I usually like when stories do this where the original cast meets a rookie and the rookie gets to follow these original characters. I just like that about games or anything. Yes, maybe after a while this type of RPG may get a little repetitive because you encounter any, but you know, when you think about it, it does do what an RPG does. Okay, if you like RPGs, then alright. If you don't, then don't get it. And the other downside is that it didn't follow the main plot of the anime or the books. But you have to remember this was made between season 4 or 5. It came out the same year season 6 ended in Japan. But it was probably being developed a year before season 6 even came out. Or maybe probably being made even way before season 4. So, I mean, it's kind of, I guess you could say it's an alternate tale of Inuyasha. But it's still fun. It's still an enjoyable story. You still get all the characters except for a few from the anime. Not to mention the maps are just captured from the show. And the music. And your belovable characters, even characters that you really hate like Naraku. And even new characters as well. And there's a lot of replay value here. You could collect all the clips, see the different, you know, endings or scenes. The voice actors. The voice actors are all back to replay their roles once again. And it's all talking. You don't even have to read a full conversation. I mean, the only time you would have to do that is if you were talking to the people. But the whole time, every main character is just talking. So, you know, that's awesome, right? You get a whole conversation where you can just watch and just listen. So, if I were to rate this game, I think it would get a 7 out of 10. It is a good game because all of the stuff that it gives you is this. It's fun. If you're an Inuyasha fan, then you will like it. I mean, it may be, you know, your typical RPG, but it's Inuyasha. If you love Inuyasha, then I would definitely get it. It is a good game. Maybe it may have an alternate story, but it's still a good story and enjoyable. But yeah, this was a childhood memory. It'll always be deep down in my heart. Even just the show in general that got me into anime. Thank you, Inuyasha. Mainly it was because of Sango. I like Sango. For recommendations for other Inuyasha games, well, if you want to see another sort of Inuyasha tale that's alternate as well. There is the one for the DS, which I don't have at this moment, but by the time maybe you've seen this video, I may have gotten it. So, I don't know. There is that if you want to check it out. You actually play as an American in this game, so that's pretty cool. And it's actually it was actually an American-made game. And if you want to fight them up, well, there's either Feudal Combat or Feudal Fairy Tale. Then there were other games that never came over here, sadly. Well, this is Arturelia Gaming Room Review signing off.